Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. It means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, July 13th, 2023. And you know what? We got an action-packed filled show. That's kind of redundant. We have an action-packed show coming up for you today. Today, I've got an unboxing, something that I think you guys have been waiting for a while, and I know I've been waiting for a while. And we're going to play a game. We're going to play Name That Running Accessory. We've been playing Name That Shoe a lot. And I think I kind of am running out of shoes to photograph. I didn't want to double up. So I was like, let's try something different. Let's try some running accessories. I'll show you a very, very close-up picture of something that I use for running and that you might use for running. That's not necessarily shoes or clothes. And you'll have to guess what it is. I think it's going to be easy. I could be wrong, but we'll see how it goes. And I guess that's it. I guess it's not that action packed, but I feel like the time's going to go by really fast because I know I'm going to have a lot of fun. Before we get into it though, let's say hi to everyone, on the, podcast on the audio only version. Hope you're having a good run out there today. Yesterday, I ran on the treadmill because there was a tornado. What's the worst one? Not advisory, not warning, watch. There was a tornado watch. And so I was like, it looked nice outside. Skies were clear, but I'm like, that's how sneaky tornadoes are. And so I ran on the treadmill. As I'm running on the treadmill, my wife had taken the kids to the library to pick up some books, and I get a text from her. I'd heard our weather alarm going off, but it had been going off for warnings and stuff. So I was like, it's probably more of that. But she's like, hey, we're taking shelter at the library, which seemed excessive because it was like sunny and bright outside and not that cloudy. But there were tornadoes in the area. In Huntley, not that far from here. Was it Huntley or was it Elgin? I don't know. It was pretty close to here. So my run was fine, but my kids had a little bit more of an interesting afternoon. Hopefully for you listening on the audio only podcast, a version of the podcast, you're having really fine, normal, non-tornado weather. And for those of you watching this later but not live, welcome to the #1 running podcast to listen to while you are chopping vegetables for dinner. So Leon had brought that up to me in the comments the other day, and I was like, you know what? We probably are #1. Just turn it on in the background, have it on there. If you miss something, it's not like I'm telling epic fables here. So like you can always hop back out, hop back in. It's perfect for kind of like having something on in the background while you're making dinner. All right, let's see who we got in the chat. Lala P says, that's a Tokyo medal. That's true. So the thumbnail that I used for today, and it's not really a running accessory, but like I was kind of struggling for enough running accessories for the game for today. So I decided to take a picture of a medal, and that is a good eye because that's a hard medal to identify, but it is a Tokyo Marathon medal in the thumbnail for today's game. Daniel Burton's got a bike and core day. That sounds like good medicine. I don't know if that's fun for you, Daniel. For me, that does not sound like a great fun day. I mean, if there's like a run, bike, and core day, then maybe. But just the bike and core seems like, oh boy, someone's a bit of a naughty boy. That's kind of what I would think. Martha says, I'm lousy at these games, but the chat is always hilarious and fun. Yeah, I feel like that's how it goes. All right, Brian's here. He says, late, but going to get a cowbell for the PR at Peachtree. Awesome work, Brian. Says, it was nice meeting you in the ATL. Hope you enjoyed the beer cup. You know what? We got to figure out a happy hour that I can do that on. So like, I got the beers home. They're in the beer fridge in the garage. So Brian dropped off a 6-pack of some beers and a tall boy for me while I was in Atlanta. I was able to get him home fine. And now I just got to taste them. So I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you. Eric's got an easy 10K training run in zone 2 today. Just chill, felt good. And the Nova Blast 3s are at 350 miles. Still alive, a little wear on the forefoot, but still bouncy. That's nice. It's really nice. You know what's interesting is, who was I watching? Oh, I was watching a YouTube video. I forget who the guy is. It was a small YouTube channel, a British guy. And I think in his first marathon, he ran like a 2:33 or something like that. I was like, I suppose that's not bad for a debut marathon, your first try. But, I guess maybe with some more experience, he'll get faster. He did a 1,000. If you guys have seen this video too, let me know in the comments if you remember who it was. But it was a 1,700 mile review of the Endorphin Speed 3, the Visi Pro, the Run Shield version. And I was like, oh, that's a long one. And then I'm looking through the comments, And people are like, oh yeah, I've taken mine out to like 1,600 miles. Other people are like, only got 800 in mine. And I'm like, what is happening here? I'm like, are they talking about kilometers? Even if they're talking about kilometers, it's still a lot of mileage to put on a single shoe. And I was just astonished by it the other day. Really, really wild. Yeah, I mean, people were complaining about like how shoes don't last long anymore. But I'm like, I don't know. You got to find the dollars per mile warriors on YouTube. Those guys are running a lot. Carlos thinks it was Patrick Martin. Was it Patrick Martin? Yeah, I don't remember the guy's name, but like I commented I wrote in the comments. I'm like, looking at the numbers in these comments is just mind-boggling. I don't remember what I said. Mark Arlt says yes, it must have been Patrick Martin. So I guess Patrick Martin could be the anti-ad read for today too. So we'll get that in. I don't know if I'll be able to find the website right away, but like look up Patrick Martin. He just did a Endorphin Speed 3 review, a blue one. So like go check that out. It was pretty good. It was a pretty entertaining video. New Petra is like, do these people with 1,000 miles in a shoe weigh 75 pounds? You know, it seems like a lot of them are the people that are running like 1,000 miles in a shoe are either people who bought a pair of Speed Goats like 6 years ago, or they're runners in the UK. I just think it's something about, I don't know if it's the terrain that you guys are running on out there or what, or maybe like because you guys come up through the club system and you guys are getting different kinds of training on form, like you're hitting the ground different. I don't know what it is, but people in the UK, I think to stereotype, I know there's danger in that, but to stereotype, like people in the UK are high mileage, like per shoe run, even if they're not high mileage runners, just high mileage per shoe runners. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. Matt Byer says, I got 479 miles in the Boston. What's the highest mileage you guys have ever gotten in a shoe? I think the most of mine is probably like, I got like 360 in a pair of Epic Reacts. I think that's the highest I've ever gotten. I think I've gotten to like 325 in like a pair of like Peg 33s or something like that. But those are like the highest I ever got. Calvin says Shannon's got 800 kilometers in her Primex. I bet you the Primex could go real far, you know. Eric says, I don't know if this is true or not, but Eric's like, Brexit really affected British shoe budgets. I have no idea if that's true. Someone will have to let me know. Heather B says, I think I've had it with a pair of shoes at 300 miles. Yeah. It used to be about 200 when I weighed 200. Oh, wow. That's quite a bit of a difference. But yeah, 300 miles for me, like for me, I remember like at 250 in a shoe, 275, it would just start to feel uncomfortable to run in it. I just feel like, oh, my heel hurts. My feet hurt all of a sudden. I don't know why. I'm like, oh, it's because these shoes are getting old. And then I just get bored. I'm like, I want another pair of shoes. Daniel Burton went 350 in the New Balance 1080. I feel like the 1080 is a great high mileage shoe. Like the shoe lasts a really long time. Stephen C had 676 miles in the React Infinity run. Did you guys see the pictures of the new Infinity React? Is it the Infinity? The Infinity. They're calling it the Infinity RN4. I'm assuming it's still the same Infinity run. Now they're just changing how they spell it, but it's supposed to have React X in it, which I'm like, React X, like Fresh Foam and Fresh Foam X, really? But hopefully it's a good foam. I don't know that I'm going to get it. It looks weird to me. It looks weird, like it's going to be very heavy and have fake fly in it, and I'm not going to like it. But it looks interesting. I think a lot of people will probably buy it. Mike is running, has 450 miles in the Ride 15. Oh, I have the Ride 15. Where is it? I was just looking at it the other day. I couldn't put a lot of miles in it. I don't know. Something in me changed. I just got old or something, and like the Ride 15 felt a little too firm for me. Vincent Bevilacqua says, I had 500 in my Epic React 1s, but only because I didn't know any better. I mean, that's not unheard of. The one shoe that never surprised me is like Speed Goats, but then they'll show you a picture of the Speed Goats and you're like, you're still running in that. But the Epic React, people will send me like, hey, I've got 1,000 mile in these, and they're great. I think Dr. Josh had a pair of Infinity runs that he had over 1,000 miles in. I think he did a review video about it, if I'm not wrong. You know, Kat Jimenez says, I got 200 in my shift and it feels done already. Also, like I'm in Houston, so it likely melted in the heat. That's also possible too. Andrea Escobedo has 728 miles in the Invincible 2s and still going with the replacement ready. Nice. And then Steve Ehrenberg says, almost 700 miles in the Hyperion Tempo. That's nice. Louis says there's nothing wrong with going the distance in shoes. Absolutely not. I think it's fantastic when people can. Lalapi says most miles in a shoe for me was 420 on a pair of Endorphin Speed 2s. Lauren the Hout says 1108 ASIC Nimbus, one of the teens, a 17. What? That's a lot. That's a lot of miles. Getting to Run, CLT Natives got 450-ish in the Peg 36. That's a lot of miles. For Pegasus, the Peg 36 too, that Cushlon, ooh, you're basically running on pavement at that point. Midlife Runners got 400 in Noblesse 1, but I retire around 300 miles now. There you go. Some really good miles in here. New Bedra says that Infinity RN is waiting for you. You got to see how he wrote that out, guys. Everyone that's listening. Every time I see, and every time I've been seeing it for the last hour because I think it was announced today. But when I see the Infinity RN, the way they spell it is Infinity, not run, but RN, like the initials, capital R, capital N, no U in there, and then a 4. So Infinity R, letter N, 4. I keep thinking this is like, oh man, this is Nike made a nursing shoe, because they did make a nursing shoe during the pandemic, didn't they? Or there was a shoe that they converted into a nursing shoe. They gave out like thousands of pairs. I thought it was pretty cool. But I keep thinking that the Infinity Run now is a nursing shoe. Like it's for the medical profession. And like the launch colorway is like super white. So I'm like, oh yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Sam Barclay's got 1,400 Ks in the New Balance 530. Not even a proper running shoe. I couldn't even spot a 530 if I saw one. Is that a dad shoe? He says not a proper running shoe. I can't even envision it. Stevie76 says, I recommend Sota Mehara as the next anti-ad read. He plays second, running 77 minutes and a half marathon. Oh, really? I've been following Sota for a while. Did I unfollow? I don't know. I can envision the face when I think about it. Cosmic Pine Michael says, I did about 500 miles of the Nike Quest 1 when it was the only shoe I had back in 2018, 2019. Then I bought another one and probably got 500 more miles. I don't even know what the Nike Quest is. I can't even envision it. Luis got his Triumphs and his 1080s to 600 miles easy. Whew. Man, you guys got a lot of miles in shoes. Shannon's got 400 plus in one pair of Invincible version 1s. The upper is trash, but the midsoles are fine. That was a weird upper. It was weird and puffy, right? Steven76 says, do you count walking miles? I don't. Unless like I went for a walk, you know what I mean? And like I recorded it on my watch. If I didn't record it on my watch, I don't count it. So that's kind of how I normally think about my own mileage. And I wonder if people, I don't think so, but I wonder, every time I think about it, I'm like, these people in the UK, they must be counting like, well, I walk to the shops. Is that what they say in the UK? I walk to the shops twice a week, and that's a mile from my house. So that's, 4 miles. So you add 4 miles that's not that much. I don't know. All right. You guys want to get to the game first, or you want to get to the package first? I feel like you guys already know what's in the package. You could probably see. Yeah, Eric says quiz or box. I know. I'm just, you and we're feeling the same pacing here. We got to figure out what we want. All right. Al Dickinson says these people. I know it sounds weird when I say that, and I don't really like saying like runners in the UK. I feel like that's dangerous to do. But I also feel like this is a great compliment. Even then, that doesn't make it right. But I'm just saying, I've noticed a pattern. All right. Christina Runs was the first one to come in with box. Daniel Burton also came in. He said box. So we're going to go with box. Cobalt Blue said game first, but we got the box here. If I get the box done, then it's also out of my way, so then I'll have more space on the table. All right. First box from Decker's Brands. I feel like if you know, you already know what's going to be in this box. But you know, they emailed me about sending me this shoe a while ago, and then just sometimes it just takes them a while to get stuff to me. Other times they'll send me stuff that I don't even want. Other times stuff that I really want takes a minute, but I'm not complaining because it's here right now. It is, oh no, I almost knocked over the computer. Pair of Mach X. So, very excited for this. Ooh, let's see what we got here. Look at this shoe. Creamy. It's like, it feels, you know what I'm kind of getting? It's not as dark of it, but I'm getting kind of like the McDonald's Grimace milkshake vibes from this colorway. You know, if I put it on my feet, I will die. No, but Mach X, Piba in the midsole, and then what is the carrier? Is it EVA? And then they got a P-Bax plate, which I'm always like, P-Bax plate? Now there's like a TPU plate in the Glide Ride 3. There's a nylon plate in like Zoom Fly 2, nylon plate. It's nylon in the Endorphin Speed series, right? So it doesn't mean it's bad, but it's not carbon. Will help stabilize the Piba foam in here. And this outsole definitely reminds me of the Rocket X series. It's got a little window into the plate in here too. And then this, I don't know if you noticed this, but it's like shimmery, this Hoka logo. And it's not just that it's glossy. It's almost kind of like mermaid scales. A little bit. Feels a lot like stickers that I would get for the kids. Tongue is nice and thin. A little bit of padding up top. Is it gusseted? Gusseted on both sides. Nice. This is the first Hoka that you can't see it in here. I'll show it. I'll film it for when I do reels and stuff. But it just says Mach X on the inside, and there's a little like lightning bolt logo. Like I feel like the shoes lately have had more going on in terms of writing inside the insole. So this seems a little bit more toned down. It's got a little butt crack in the back. Or was it swallowtail design? Is that what we're calling this? I'm not sure. It's really lightweight. It feels like it's about the same weight as a Mach. Do I have a Mach in here? I don't think I have any Machs in here, do I? Oh, here we go. The Mach 5 is actually a little bit lighter. At least in hand, you know, very scientific. But yeah, we'll get this filmed up. We'll take a look at it and see how it runs. And then I can finally watch other people's videos on it because I've been waiting. All right. Victor Mendoza says, yeah, I've spent too much money already on shoes this year to add any more. We'll have to pass on these, unfortunately. Victor, I don't know, man. It's normally by July, a lot of the shoes have been released already or are about to release. But I feel like there's a lot that's going to come at the end of this year. So I don't know. Start saving. I'm just saying. All right. Lala P says, can't wait for the review on these. I really want them, but they just need the Kofuzi approval. Yeah, so like I think, I'm thinking like, is this something that you use as a Mach? Is it something that you use as kind of like like a lot of people use the Rocket X as like the workout shoe? I'm guessing like the pairing situation is going to be Mach X, Rocket X, and maybe Mach 5. That's kind of like gut what I'm thinking based on the materials. But we'll see. It's hard too because like with Hoka, like the Rocket X, I guess that's not so much the case. It used to be like the case that like the X stuff was experimental, like Bondi X and stuff. Like Tecton X, we always thought was kind of experimental, but they updated that to Tecton X2. I guess it started out with Carbon X, and that wasn't really experimental either. Although it kind of is, if you think about it. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where this fits. Very curious. It looks great. I am aware though that there is a black version, which I think looks great. Just saying. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. New Badger says, I thought X just meant plated. Yeah, that's how Hoka uses it. But I always kind of felt like Bondi X, we're not going to get a Bondi X2, I don't think. Or are we? I don't know. Usually Hoka telegraphs really far in advance what they're doing. But I really don't know if we're going to get a Bondi X2. Victor says, all right, at least for now, I'm only planning on getting my first pair of racing shoes for CIM later this year. All right. I think that's smart because I do think mainly from the racing shoe department, I'm waiting to see what Adidas does with the Adios. Are we going to get a Prime X update this year? Are we even going to get an Adios update this year? Is it just going to be an upper update because the midsole still needs some refixing, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Matthias Ventus says, is it light enough to compete with the Endorphin Speed? Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's like I said, it feels heavier than the Mach at the moment. And the Endorphin Speed, I think people forget how light that shoe really is. It's very light. So I think my gut is that it's going to be heavier. I haven't looked at the official weights. I haven't weighed them. But yeah, I think it's going to be, my gut is that it's intended to be in that category, Stephanie's saying, I'm getting nervous that the Adios Pro 4 won't be released in time for Berlin. Yeah, I think that would be a shocker if it did not happen. But I feel like the later it gets, the more likely that the update is just going to be an upper update. Because I don't know if you guys remember, when I went to TRE, went to the Adidas booth, there was one pair of Adios Pro 4s. And it wasn't on the wall. It wasn't like for like, hey, you have to ask for it and maybe they'll show it to you, kind of secret shoe, like with the Prime X 2. But it was on a mannequin. And then I saw it and I started filming it. And then they were like, make sure you don't show that because that one's not ready. I was like, oh, really? What's up with it? And they're like, well, it's not meeting we changed the foam quite a bit and then it didn't meet our durability standards. So it's not ready for us to show it to you guys at TRE. We just needed a pair of shoes for the mannequin and that's what it is. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I have footage of it. I'm pretty sure I did not show that to anybody. Or when I did, it was very blurred. So like, that's my understanding is like, they might be scrambling right now to be able to get that shoe out. So either that or they're going to be like, it's so fast it only lasts 4 marathons, like the On Cloud Boom Echo 3. Is this a year? Is this like a throwback year? Kind of like a cutback week, like 3 weeks of increased mileage and 1 cutback. So like we had increased mileage and durability on our super shoes. And then 2023, we cut back down. I mean, ultimately, I'm not mad if a shoe doesn't make it like 300 miles and it's a racing shoe. You know what I mean? Like, think about like a race car engine. You don't expect that race car engine to make it 100,000 miles. A Honda Civic, I need that to go more than 100,000 miles. But a Honda F1 car, do they make F1 cars? Indy car, that I don't expect that. I'm not going to get 100,000 miles out of that. It's a high performance machine, so that's kind of how I feel about it. But I think that if they didn't have it ready for Berlin, that'd be weird. So like because then it'd mean no big release for Boston, no big release for Berlin. What are you gonna make it like a Christmas special? Like that'd be weird. So like they got to do something. It's just a matter of like, is it exciting or it's like, well, I needed a fresh pair anyway, so I'll get the 4. That I think is gonna be the real question. Calvin says Honda's no longer an F1. That goes to show. I mean, the last time I followed F1 was when like Michael Schumacher was still racing. So, yeah. Kurt says, boo on Kipchoge going to Berlin. I thought he was going to do New York. Yeah. you know, like it's exciting to see Kipchoge go to places, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to see him, you know? So it's like, it's exciting. It's cool. It makes for a fun storyline, but I'm not going to get to see him no matter where he goes. So I don't know. A new Betcher says, you know, Adidas can find another shoe to put on the mannequin. That's what I found suspect. That's why I feel like they set up the booth and then they probably sent pictures in for like, hey, here's what the booth looks like. And then someone was like, hey, you got to do something. That's why I feel like they were like, get that off the wall. You can leave it on the mannequin because I know that's annoying. I don't know. That was a weird story. It almost felt like they were wanting me to leak the Adios Pro 4. You know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes, because, you know, every shoe gets leaked, right? I don't really like leaking. I'm not really into rumors that much anymore anyway either, because I have a hard enough time following embargoes. If I'm also sharing rumors and stuff, it doesn't really work. Plus, then people are less likely to send you shoes early if you're a rumor person. So, like, I don't really trade in that kind of stuff. And, but, like, sometimes it just feels like, we don't want you talking about this, but here, try it on. Look at it. Tell me what you think. You know, it's just like, okay. So is this a wink, wink, don't talk about it? Or is it a don't talk about it? I don't know. Sometimes like stuff like that, I feel like it's happening. So I just try to be really, really like, well, you said no, so I'm not gonna, just be really clear with me. I'm a little dense, Kyle Patton says, Kofuzi out of context. I don't really like leaking. All right. Luke Klein says, nice shirt, Mike. Thanks. Someone asked earlier, I forgot where it is. It is a rabbit shirt from last year's Cali Vibes collection. This year's one has like palm trees on it. It's a little bit more like a light blue overall color. This one has a little bit more of like a yellowish and blue tone to it. But yeah, so you can run in it. It's ventilated in the back. It's got those quick pull clasps for easy on off or wardrobe change at the aid station kind of thing. So I really like it. I usually like it to take the kids to the pool, that kind of stuff. Ryan Flake says, are you going to review the Boston 12? I don't know. I'm surprised Adidas didn't like send them to me. I'm on the fence. Everyone keeps saying that they're better. Because I do try to avoid other people's reviews, but now it's been around for a while, so like you kind of accidentally figure out what people are thinking about it generally. I would like the Boston to get better. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll review it closer towards Berlin. That might make a little bit more sense. We'll see. All right. Should we get to the game? Let's get to the game, guys. All right. So the game is name that running accessory, where I will show you a close-up picture of a running accessory that I use or have used in the past. And you have to guess what it is. All right. No points, no prizes, but hopefully we'll have some fun. All right. Here's the first one. Let's see what we got. I'll try to explain what we're seeing the best I can to those of you who are listening. Right now we're looking at something. It looks like there's kind of like channels in like a grid pattern, almost like chevrons. The device is dirty. I will tell you that. So it's a little gross. And then in one side of the picture, you're seeing like a little like kind of copper colored contact point. And so, yeah, I don't know if you can really, it just looks like, rows at almost like a right angle, or maybe I guess it's like I don't know. What's the angle on this? What you guys say? Maybe 90-degree angles, but they're like kind of in a diamond chevron pattern. Let's see. Kurt thinks it looks like a shoe outsole. Cobalt Blue thinks it's a waffle iron. JC thinks it's a watch band, but Gendry Scott says that's a golf shoe for sure. But Daniel Burton got it right. It's a running pod. It is Stride Foot Pod. It's version 2 of the Stride Foot Pod, the Wind version. So my original version was smooth on the back. And now I'm showing the larger picture, showing like the foot pod. This is the bottom side of it. and next to it is the clip that goes on your shoes. I don't know if it's just to help it sit in the like mounting point better, or if it's because this is a wind version of the Stride Foot Pod. So if you notice, like in the little mounting bracket, there's a little hole towards the right side. That's where the front of the shoe would be. Wind can get in there, and that takes into account for how it determines how much power you're outputting. So I don't know if that's something they need in there, or they just decided they would do it, or what. But that's the bottom of the Stride Foot Pod. Eric says steer like one. I don't know what a pod. Yeah, if you don't know what a foot pod, you definitely wouldn't know what it is. And Momentum Unbound says, "Yo, oh wow, yeah, never would have guessed that one." Lou says my pod is smooth. You must have. Do you have a version 1? Because I've version 1. I bought that one like almost when it first came out, and then they sent me this version 2 to test, probably like 3 months ago, and I just didn't get to it until like about a week ago. So I've been using this. I don't know if you've seen it on my shoes in the last video, maybe the last couple videos. So it's been on there, but just getting back on it, testing it out. All right. All right, let's go to the next one. You guys ready? I don't even remember what this next one is. Okay, this one's going to be tough. The device is a little bit dirty. I will say it's collected a little bit of dust. But what we're looking at here is 2 pieces of plastic that are connected with a Allen bolt. And the piece on the left is kind of like a light blue color. And there's a round part that almost fits like a hip into a socket. And the white part is like the socket of it. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at. Oh, you guys figured. Yeah, Matcha says easy. Come on, Mike. Matthias Ventus says it's a gimbal. It's not a gimbal, but you guys all figured it out really, really fast. Cobalt Blue, I think, had it first. It's the Roll-On Recovery R8. Yeah, so like the part that I was showing you is like I have these little blue brackets that come down from the overall structure down to the part with the rollers on it. I don't use this thing all the time, but I always use it after a big race. And it just kind of like, it feels like it's tearing up your muscles in a good way. I don't know how to make that sound good, but it feels great on my quads and on the hamstrings, but usually on the quads, like that deep part of the quads that always, I feel like that's where, for me, the glycogen gets depleted from first, and it just like it's burning for the next couple of days. Getting the R8 on there feels like it just stimulates the area or flushes whatever's gross in there out, and I end up feeling a lot better the next day. But it's very painful the first day. Eric Berman says it's a miracle recovery device, a medieval recovery device from the Spanish Inquisition. Kevin Hong says, my wife thought it was for your neck when she saw one. Oh, that would hurt. I mean, I think that would hurt your neck. It just like the tension on it is really strong. So that would hurt a lot. That would hurt a lot. All right. Martha says, I need that on my upper quads, but I have Run Caddy for massages. Eat your hearts out. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a thing that people need because I don't use it all the time. I think some people use it more than I do, but like I definitely, like I usually, when I travel for a race, like I don't bring it with me, but when I get home, I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be good. Clan says, man, putting that on the neck, I might die. I think you might. Although the one that I have, I don't know if they all do that or if this is like a version 2 or what. Mine has a dial on the top, so you can see how there's the springs can be adjusted for how much it is. But even on like the lightest tension, I still feel like it really works. It squeezes the leg and then rolls through. So there's a lot of tension. Heather B says, I see a massage therapist every week. That's nice. That's better than having a roll-on recovery device, I would say. Although, like, if you need that thing, if you need the recovery device, the roller every day, then it might be worth it to have both. But, that's nice, Heather, to see a massage therapist every week. Davin Patterson says, I only use a massage gun, or I get a real massage. What? Are you guys getting massages? I've never gotten a massage before. I don't know. I just feel like I would get real nervous about it and then get tickly, and then I'd be like, sorry, I gotta go. I just feel like I would. Yeah, I just feel like every touch would just feel like, oh, stop tickling me. I really dislike being tickled. All right, let's change the subject. That felt weird. All right, this one, I don't know. It's either going to be super easy or super hard. It's a round device with a button on the side. This is it might be a trick question. There is an Ant Plus logo and a Bluetooth logo on it, and those letters that say WR30. And then there's a couple of other squares that are like yellowish in color. So, yeah, either you guys will figure it out right away or not. Luis Becerra is saying it's a watch, which is very, very close. But technically, this is not a watch. So, let's see. You guys got it right. Yeah, see, like everyone thinks Raymond Stadium says it's a back of a watch. It does look very much like a back of a watch. And even when I show you guys the full picture, you'll be like, yeah, that's the back of a watch. But Getting to Run has it. It's the Polar. Mon de los Reyes says Polar Verity Sense. I actually think this is is it? This is the first version of that, I think. I don't remember. But it is actually, Calvin got it as well. Getting to Run at first, but Calvin, Polar Heart Rate Monitor is kind of what I was looking for. That's what it is. It looks like a watch, but it's smaller. It's like much, much smaller. It's only the width of like a wristband. And it sits in that little case that's in the picture next to it. You flip it over so that way then it puts down on your skin. And you can put it higher up on your arm than your wrist. So I usually put it on my forearm. Sometimes I put it up on my bicep. And for some reason, I think it's because there's more meat there or muscle in both of those places than on my wrist. I get a more accurate or consistent reading for my heart rate. So that's something that I used to use for a while, along with a Stride foot pod. Now, since I switched to using Velcro bands on my watches, I get an accurate enough from the wrist directly. So then I don't have to carry that around and I don't have to have the second device. So I haven't been using that as much lately. Plus, I'm not like really looking at my heart rate that closely as I run anymore. I've shifted more towards, after years of using a Stride foot pod and years of using a heart rate monitor, I've kind of started to figure out, all right, these are the effort levels that correspond to those heart rate levels. So I've kind of gotten away from that, mainly because I'm traveling a lot more and I just don't like bringing all the cables, and I keep forgetting. When you're not in your routine, it's easy to forget. Like, get out for a run and be like, oh, forgot my foot pod. Let's go back inside. Oh, forgot the heart rate monitor. Let's go back inside. So I really dislike it when that happens. So I'm like, as long as I just got a watch, GoPro, and earbuds, then I'll be fine. Let's see. Yeah, but everyone got that one right. Matcha says, man, crisp macro lens though. Yeah, it took a little bit to get the photo. I had to like really crank up all the lights in here, and really mess with like I couldn't just take the picture on auto. I actually had to do some work. So I felt like, oh, this worked. I feel proud of myself, because normally I just take bad photos. Martha says, it's just more stuff for Co to lose on his trips. That's for sure. You know what? I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think I lost anything on the last 2 trips in a row. I definitely just jinxed it. I did not lose anything coming back from Boulder, and I did not lose anything coming back from Atlanta. Next trip's to Baltimore next week. Are you guys going to be around? I'm going to the summer grit party on Thursday. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. But that'll be the next trip, and I'm definitely going to lose something on that trip. But in other news, even if you're not going to be in Baltimore for the summer grit party, I just talked to Thomas. I'm getting in Wednesday. We're going to do a live stream from the Believe in the Run headquarters. Thomas will be the guest, so make sure you tune in. Wednesday it'll be the normal time, but it'll be at a different place. It'll be at Thomas's place, or the Believe in the Run headquarters, not from here. So, yeah. All right. Martha says, you know what? Maybe your luck has turned. We'll see. We'll see. I've got a couple of, I got a lot of trips coming up this summer. So plenty of opportunity to see if this is a part of a new trend or if it was just a lucky 2-trip fluke. You know, we'll see. Sleep Singer's going to be there. Nice. Look forward to seeing you. And Matthias says, if I was closer, I would hit up Baltimore. Yeah, I think that'll be pretty cool if you could. Calvin says, anybody doing that Bandit A6 program? Did you get? I meant to talk about it on Friday because now you can't apply for it anymore. I don't think, but there's like a Bandit / A6 training program going on for the New York Marathon, where they're going to provide you like coaching, some gear, like a mini community that you guys can be a part of. So I guess it's not exactly a train to NYC, but it's kind of some of the similar concepts to that. I'm not sure. I don't know who the coaches are from the Bandit program. I have to look into that a little bit further. There's a virtual component as well for people that didn't get, because there's like an in-person if you live in New York that you could do. I think you have to apply for it because there's only so many spaces they had available. But I don't know. Is anyone doing that? I don't know. Daniel Britton says, when are you coming to Colorado? I am going to Colorado soon, but it's not going to be a trip where I can hang out. So I'm going with a brand to do some trail running. It's going to be like a multi-day point-to-point kind of thing, testing out some product. So that's going to be in Vail. I think that's where I'm flying to, I think. I can't remember. I don't think I'm flying to Denver. I think I'm flying straight to, I don't know. It's the day after. So I go to Baltimore next week. I come back home. I'll be home for like a day and a half, or I guess 2 nights. And then I'm going to Colorado. So I will be Colorado, but unfortunately I won't be able to hang out with you guys. So for Colorado to hang out, I don't know. I'll already be going twice in 1 year, which is more than I've gone in my life before that. But yeah, so that's the next trip that I have after Baltimore. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Someone was saying something about. Oh, Luis says, just remember, Cole, you said that Ryan Van Duzer doesn't do speed sessions or something like that. He just biked his way across Sweden. I don't think he needs more training. Yeah, I know. I think his stories were, he just got home like just now. Yeah, and he ran like a 38 minutes for the Boulder. So, he's just a good athlete. You know what I mean? Imagine if he did do speed work. That's the thing. Austin says, yes, we got to have a Colorado hangout in the future. I'm gonna try and figure it out. Oh, okay. DazDarren99 says, I signed up for the Bandit training program and received the training plan today, although I'm too slow for their plans. There's 3 plans for sub 3. There's 3 plans, a sub 3, sub 330, and a sub 4. That's all right, DazDarren. Yeah, I'm sure if you talk to them, they might be able to tweak it for you. I would see if you can. And Ben Miller says, I got in the Bandit virtual program to the orientation last night. Nice. Sleep Singer says, Co, what is the start for Baltimore? Is it on a website? I actually have no idea. I'm basically just going to get there and go to Thomas's house or Robbie's house and just kind of like show up. They didn't invite me. I just was like, when's the date of the thing? I was like, okay. And they were like, it's the 21st. I'm like, okay, I'm coming. But, yeah, I think that if you go to their Instagram, but like the Believe in the Run Instagram, I think it'll be there. Because then they did a post. You should be able to see it. It's like a bright, I don't know what color it is. Orange, red design that talks about it and should have more information there. All right. Shannon says, I'm doing a thing with a thing for a thing in Vail. Yeah. It'll be a fun video later, I think. Yeah, Shannon says it's an embargoed trip. It's not embargoed, but it's better it's more fun if it's, since I can't hang out with you guys anyway, because of the schedule. It's just more fun if it's a surprise later. So that's kind of how I think it goes. Ben Mo says, I think that the Bandit A6 program sounds legit, includes sports psych, nutrition, and strength plans along with the run plans, and he's looking forward to it. That's cool. I like that. All right, let's get to the next one. All right. What's this one? Either you guys are going to get it right away or you're not. It's a round dot with a line with a rounded edge next to it. Any guesses for that one? Luke Line says, I got an email saying my grit stuff is on the way. Oh. I wonder where mine is. Maybe they're just going to give it to me. You know, I haven't uploaded a single run to grit so far. I got to go do that. I'll do that right after this. And all right. New Bedra says it's an exclamation point. It kind of is. Let's see. Martha says, I'll spy on him in Vail, guys. It's about 90 minutes from home. Well, it's a multi-day thing, Martha. So, like, I think I'm only arriving in Vail. I don't think we're staying in Vail. I looked. They sent me an itinerary. I didn't really look at it. Someone's gonna take me places. No, I don't think it's not just me. It's multiple people. All right. Obi-Run says the Bandit A6 coaches are Steve Finley, Ned Trim, his assistant. Kara Dudley's assistant. Megan Hayden is strength. Michael Crows is mobility. Brendan Martin is PT, and Mari Dutshades is mental. Oh, that's a cool lineup. I didn't realize that there was a sports psych component to it. That's really cool. All right. Ben Miller thinks this is an AirPod. Oh, that's a very good guess. It's a very good guess. Alan thinks it's a phone case sleeve. Getting Trend thinks it's abstract on logo. You guys are going to be like, oh, man, as soon as you see it. Jason Wise thinks it's an Apple Watch. Martin thinks it's a phone. Calvin thinks it's a Garmin 255. It is a Martin gel. I got you guys on that one. Yeah, so that M that has a little dot on it, that's what I zoomed in on. Really close. So, like, even my macro lens couldn't get as close as I wanted to on that one, so I did have to zoom in. That's why I was a little bit fuzzy. But, yeah. Yeah. No one got it. Martha says, OMG, though, it is an exclamation point. That's true. It's true. Ed Bud, he's here. What's going on, Ed? Congratulations on the PB. He says, it was so easy. Yeah. I'm so delighted that you guys didn't get that one. I don't know why I'm enjoying that so much. But yeah. Okay, let's see. I think I got one more. You guys ready for one more? All right, last one. This one's hard. So it's like a black material, kind of curvy, kind of smooth. There is an oval cutout with what looks like diagonal lines inside the cutout. Yeah. A lot of waves, a lot of curls. It's like black, matte, showing a little bit of reflection. I'm trying to think of what the reflection would be from that's giving it that color. That didn't make sense to me, but let's see what you guys got. It's like very abstract. It was very hard for even the camera to figure out what to focus on. Martha thinks it's plastic. Yes, most of what you're looking at, I believe, is plastic. There's a part of it that's also rubber. Momentum says it's golf stick or whatever you call those things. Rob thinks it's a GoPro. Luis thinks it's an Otter case for iPhone. Martha thinks battery compartment. That's a good guess. JC thinks it's a spaceship. And Ben N got it. Earbud mic. And Dylan Chan also says some sort of earbud. You guys are correct. It is what are these? Beats Fit Pro. Those are my earbuds. So right that little part on top of like the white reflection that's on there, there's a little cutout, and that's the cutout that we were all looking at super, super close. Yeah. So that's it. That's the game for today, guys. I think I got 1 point. You guys got 4 points. Because you guys got all the rest of them. So nice. Matcha says, what are your go-to earbuds, Mike? Those are my go-tos. I prefer the sound of the Jabra Elite 85T. For me, that was like the best earbud ever made for running. Problem is, all the Jabras never lasted me very long. I don't like, they were supposed to be waterproof, sweatproof, but they never, like, I guess I never got the active versions, but the regular versions just never, even though they were supposed to be sweatproof and waterproof, I think sweat would get in them and then they would just stop working after a while. But those Beats Fits Pro, I think I've had those for like 3 years now and they still really work well. So I'm just surprised, you know? JC says you needed some earwax to really provide a hint. I did like make sure that they were not super gross. So like I tried to clean them off a little bit. So, Earbud says I still get swamped with earbuds. Yeah, I just started saying no to all earbud reviews after a while. And what helped is that like there was a lot of earbuds that like AirPods was like, oh, can you run in these? And then Beats Fit came out. Like then there was the Power Beats Pro, the one with the loop, and then like Jabra was doing a lot of stuff. And then what's the other one? Jaybird was like, there was like a big surge of Bluetooth earbuds. And then like everyone kind of all the big players kind of like slowed down. And then all these brands that I never heard of kept popping up. And I'm like, I'm getting tired. I stopped doing them after a while. I don't know. Kudos to the people who are still doing them, but I can't. I can't do it. Eric says, I named my own Jabras the Hut and they died in 4 months. That's, I like it. But unfortunately that's like about how long they lasted for me too. Calvin says, any more updates with the Kabuzi Run Club singlet? You should just go with Rabbit. You want me to reach out to them? I like the PR material, but like, I've only seen the PR singlet in yellow. I do have another Rabbit package coming soon. Maybe there'll be something interesting in there. Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't have any more progress on it. I did talk to Martinez a little bit about how he does merch a little bit. So I got a couple tips there, but like he's on another level. He's got like suppliers in China and stuff and people that do his fulfillment and everything. And I'm like, oh boy, he's got a whole infrastructure already. So some, interesting to have that conversation, but I'm not there. I just need to I think I need to get it. I got to figure it out. It's just frustrating, Martha says, they'll let you choose a color. Club colors are arranged. And for example, Fleet Feet have their own color line. Oh, really? All right. Well, I'll call, let me email Kevin. I'll email Kevin. So, I do like Rabbit would work well though, because they're not a competitor with any other shoe brand, So I feel like that also helps, makes it really easy, not only for me, but for you guys too, because you might have a different favorite running shoe. So having one that's not a shoe brand, I think has its definite advantages. So, all right, I'll send out some emails, see if we can work on something. I didn't know that they do club color stuff. Interesting. I'll have to look at the Fleet Feet Rabbit ones. Eric says, it'll be available in all colors, so long as you like the singlet in black. Hey, I mean, I love a good black singlet, but I have been finding myself very partial to white singlets just because, number one, I think it's easy to spot in a race. And number two, if it's a hot race, it helps keep the temperatures down a little bit, So that's what I'm thinking. Calvin's like, yeah, we're going to need a Rabbit capsule, including the speedsters. That would be kind of fun too. But I'm like, is that too much? I think that'd be too much. Like a whole uniform that's all Rabbit. See, that's what I was thinking. I was like, we'll do a singlet something else. And then see if we can work with Rabbit for some speedsters. That would be, I feel like, would be kind of fun. But maybe we'll see what Rabbit wants to do. I don't know. I don't know if the speedsters will be hard to do or not. I feel like we could just get speedsters. You know what I don't have? I don't have a black one with a liner. I feel like that's the one that I want. But I don't know if that's coming. I'm assuming it's got to be. Martha's like, I'm not sure about not 100% sure about colors for all the clubs, but Fleet definitely has their own line, so I suspect it's doable. They're also probably buying 10x what I would order So I feel like for 10x, you know, you could figure something out, I guess. But Brian says, my running club just started using Rabbit last year for club singlets. Ooh. And Cosmic Pineapple Michael says, I wonder if sales of black singlets have declined since that Instagram post about the heat absorption. That's interesting, yeah. Oh, and Shannon says, my team's singlet is black, and I never wear it to race because it's so freaking heat absorbent. Earbud thinks you need a Kafuzi casual shirt that doubles as a running vest, like storable sleeves, or you just tug them and they come off. Like whoosh. I think that's a product that exists, right? I think it is. Just tug it, kind of like the pants that turn into shorts. I feel like they make shirts like that. You know what though? The ones like singlets work for me, but the ones that have the wider, like the muscle tee style, I just feel like I'm wearing someone else's shirt. It looks like that's like I borrowed a shirt from someone, you know? All right. Martha says that, you know, her coach uses Rabbit for their singlets as well. Okay. So maybe, I mean, I've never asked, so I'll think about it. I will start asking because you know what? I want to make sure those of us who want to race in it can race in it for like the fall marathon season. I know I missed out. I probably have missed out on the summer, to be realistic, timing wise. So, all right. That's a good way to end it. What was the other thing that I was going to do right after this? Oh, I was going to log all my grip miles. All right. I'm going to email Kevin at Rabbit. I'm going to log all my grip miles. That's what I got to do. All right. I'm sure you guys have stuff you guys got to do, but I don't know what yours stuff is. So go do it now before you know what? Because a lot of times I feel like a lot of you guys, we end the live stream here and then you start looking at your phone and then next thing you know, it's another hour's gone by. So let's make sure we're productive. Get to that to-do list. I got my things. I know you guys got your things. Let's do them. No video tomorrow. I really don't know what the next video is going to be, to be honest with you. But we will do another live stream, same time as today. Should we make it a happy hour? I don't think I got to drive. Maybe we'll do happy hour. Maybe we'll try some of those Atlanta beers. So let's do that. Let's pencil it in. Same time as tomorrow, either way, though. 1 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'll see you then. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.